Hello, this is Talk Gaming, and today I'm going to be showing you all the new items and explaining the new shop to you. So I'm in practice tool just for that. We're going to quickly just get everything set up. I'm going to put 4 enemy dummies in a little circle here. And then we'll get started with explaining the new items. I have to make sure it's not in turret range. They just have to be in a little circle. And an allied one over here. Alright. So we're going to explain the shop. We're going to explain the legendary mythic items and starter items, the difference in the jungle items, everything you need to know. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over the mythic items. So what makes a mythic item so special? You might be asking, why should I build any of these? I think there's like 23 items. Why should I build one of these first? And the answer is because there's a mythic passive. So we're gonna look at the bottom where, like right by where my champion picture is, and my level, it says mythic passive. Basically, every time you build one of the items up here, one of the 61 items up here, you're gonna be getting a small bonus. So for this one, it's 2.5 movement speed times 5. So you're going to be getting 12.5, I believe I got. 10.5, something like that. As you can also see, the mythic items also glow. So those are just quick things to get out of the way before I go into what the new items do. So I'm going to go through these one by one and show you what they do. First thing, Aurelia's Battle Song. So I'm just going to buy this really quick. You can see it has like an active. It gives some health, ability haste, which that's just cooldown reduction set differently and scaling differently. It's not one for one. Before it was a percent, now it's just a number like armor and magic resist. And basically, this gives movement speed, mana regen, which mana is really rare now because they removed a bunch of mana's on scalings on items. This grants you and allies 40% decaying movement speed, so anyone within this big circle, and causes your next attack to deal bonus damage. I don't know why my practice tool keeps lagging, but you can see like we get some movement speed, that DK. Our auto attacks on a regular day right now do 117. So I don't know why it keeps lying, but use the item, and now they do 117 plus 60 magic damage. So a little over half of our attack damage is magic damage. It says 40 to 60. I think it's not a percent, but yeah. So that's what that item does. It's a good support item. You're giving everyone around you a small buff. Next is Locket of the Iron Solari. This one is a tank item. It's basically what the old Locket was, except now you grant nearby allied champions 5 armor and magic resist, and it has the passive. And yeah. So let me just go over here to our ally dummy, and you can see we got a little shield. That's nice to build on like tank supports when you need to survive. I like building it on Thresh. Something like that. This one's like mage supports, maybe. Like, I don't even know who you would build this on, but Imperial Mandate. This one's gonna be kind of cool. Ability power, health, ability haste, and mana regen. So this one, abilities that slow or immobilize a champion deal extra bonus magic damage and mark them. Allied champions that detonate the mark deal an additional damage with their auto attacks, granting you both 20% move speed. So unfortunately, as you can see, I only have one person, just me, so I can't show you the active. So like, I can show you, we do 117. So we're using ability, Or we have to immobilize. So you can see that does that much. And it leaves a little mark. And that mark, when detonated, can do some stuff for you. This one's really good on the tank supports. Well, not tank supports. Healing and shielding supports. Maybe something like Lux. Maybe Soraka? But I think Lux would be the best case of this. Maybe Yumi.
Everybody's a critic.
Now we have Moonstone Renewer. This one's really good for like Janna, Soraka, any of the shielding supports. Lulu. When affecting champions with attacks or abilities, restore 30 health. Restore a certain amount of health to the most wounded allies. By the way, ability power, health, ability haste, mana regen. So it's like Lux, Lulu, Janna, Soraka. Basically, when you auto attack, you get to heal a nearby ally. Well, I guess like we could teleport ourselves into their base. I'm just gonna spawn a target dummy here. Okay. Why isn't it doing any damage? Well, you can see we got the little wind thing. Here, I'll go back to the base. But we get like a wind power, and we can heal people around us. Well, actually, it just heals the most wounded ally, the one who's the lowest. So yeah, that's gonna be good on those kinds of supports. Now we have Sunfire Aegis. I think this is the best tank item. You can decide. You can decide against it. I think this is the best item to build on most tanks. Think of this like Sunfire Cape, which does damage around you all the time. Because it also gives armor, magic resist, ability, haste, and health. But then you can stack up damage, and at max damage, your auto attacks burn for extra damage. Like, you could see, we have to attack someone first. Like, we're gonna do 35, 75. It's building up because of our stacks, by the way. You see, like, 60 is the max, and we're also doing burn damage. Everything around us. So it has an aura that when you attack someone activates, but then, see, 35, 39, 43, 48, 52, 56, and 60. And it also burns kind of faster, I think, just the auto attacks. So yeah, this is like really good for the tanks who just can go in. And we'll get a lot more damage off. I think it's borderline OP, but you can decide against that. Next is Hextech Rocket Belt. It's the exact same thing as Proto Belt. Think of it like that. Except you also gain movement speed towards enemy champion. We were at 340, now we're at 528. So it's just Proto Belt, but you get movement speed towards champions. And it gives the same stats and everything. Riftmaker. This one gives ability power, health, ability haste, and Omnivamp. I forgot to explain Omnivamp. It's basically Spell Vamp. If you know what Spell Vamp is, that's just healing when you damage an enemy champion. For each second in combat, you deal extra bonus damage. And when you get to max stacks, which is 5 stacks, you get true damage instead.
Beat up or beat down.
But we do 117. Now we do 121, 124, 128. And then we start doing that extra bonus damage as true damage. So just 17 as true damage for our auto attacks shown here. And this counts for abilities too. Like, let's just be... He does 371. Get to max stacks. You could see it does like, I think a bit more. But yeah, you do more damage with your spells and your auto attacks. This is good on those champions who do a lot of sustained damage. Teemo, Brand, Basically all the ones everyone hates. Malzahar. Any champion you hate, I think Riftmaker would be really good on them. If you're thinking about the really burn damage champ. I shouldn't have said everyone you hate, but next we have Night Harvester. This one is best on AP bruisers like Rumble and Mordekaiser. Damaging a champion deals additional damage and grants you movement speed. Its ability power, health, and ability haste. So Mordekaiser, Rumble, any AP bruiser. You can see like 117 plus 262 with movement speed. Plus 262. So we're dealing 300 extra damage with an auto attack. Almost. 260. I think it's going to be a really good item. It's pretty much the only one in here that I think would make like super mega sense with Mordekaiser. Minus maybe Leandra's Anguish, but I'll get to that. Next we have Frostfire Gauntlet. This one, let's just turn some cooldowns off. It just emits an aura, like it's IBG mixed with Sunfire Cape, because you can see we're also doing like AoE damage in the aura, but we also get the IBG little slow thing when we auto attack. You don't have to do no abilities for that. You just get this slow automatically. And it has a 4-second cooldown, but I've reduced cooldowns on, so. But yeah, this is basically just IBG without having to use an ability and for tanks with an aura, like Sunfire Cape. Health, armor, magic resist, ability haste. I think it's pretty good. I got my boots. I'll show you the boots later. But we have Turbo Kim Tank. This item is health, armor, magic resist, ability haste. So you can see all these tank items get basically the same stats. And I'm not going to read all that. It's just Righteous Glory with the Sunfire Cape passive. You can see like we get extra movement speed towards them and they're slowed. We have 375, 375, but when we go towards them and reach them, they're slowed. This item would be good on a tank or like a more tanky champion that doesn't have good mobility. Maybe an Urgot. I would say this might be pretty decent on. Maybe Olaf, but Olaf is probably going to want to build some of these other items. But yeah, it's just a good slow item. I think that the passive or active is better off legendary. I think that this kind of hurts it that's mythic, but oh well. Duskblade of Drektar. Attack damage, lethality, and ability haste. This is an assassin item. Basically, your first attack against someone deals extra damage. So you can see we're doing 289 instead of the... I'm gonna take the cooldowns off. 172. So we're dealing about 90 extra damage. And you're slowing them by 99% for a very short amount of time. And when they die, so if you attack them and they die and you get the takedown, then you get to go invisible. And the cooldowns refresh. Really good on champions like Kha'Zix, Rengar, those champions that like don't like to be seen and like to just one-shot everyone. You can go in, one-shot, and go out without being seen really. Eclipse. This is another one that is for assassins. Attack damage, lethality, Omnivamp. Any champion with 2 separate attacks or abilities deals extra damage and gives you movement speed and a shield. Great on Graves. Great on Olaf, who could just Q auto attack or like 2 auto attacks or an E or something. So you can see 172, 232 in the shield. And we get a little buff for a second there. Prowler's Claw. Attack damage, lethality, ability haste. Dash through target enemies dealing damage. This is just like a point and click dash. AD bruisers who want to build some lethality, I'm not sure how many of them do. or assassins that don't want to build Dustblade, I guess, or like if you need more mobility as an assassin, or you just want to save your abilities for late and don't want to use them first, then you could just use this and just dash to someone. But yeah, that's pretty nice. I think a lot of the mythic items have dashes, but that's the first one we've seen. Goredrinker. Bruiser item. Attack damage, health, ability, haste, and health regen. You deal damage in an AoE circle and heal yourself based off how many people are around you. So I'm going to go and I'm going to just take a bunch of tower shots. Use Goredrinker and you can see I healed. But I'm also going to put like one, I'm going to spawn an enemy dummy over here. You can see our healing is like a lot less over here. So yeah, it's just an AoE heal that does damage. Great on like Aatrox. Because he just heals more. Like, why not? I think it's good on Urgot, but Urgot has kind of limited mobility, especially in this meta where people are going to be getting even more mobility. It's kind of a tough meta for him to survive in, I feel. He doesn't build one of the mobility items. So I would say like Aatrox is probably my best pick for this item. Stridebreaker. Attack damage, attack speed, health, ability, haste, and you can lunge a short distance. Read here. Dealing physical damage grants some movement speed. This one's gonna be good on like the, I guess maybe for ADCs that don't want to build the other dash items on more survival. Or just like an Olaf. Let's call it like Olaf. This would be pretty good on, yeah. You just get to dash forward and use like a Fiora Q basically. But the whole damage circle is just damage. Look at that. Awesome. Divine Sunderer. This is another bruiser item. Attack damage, health, ability, haste. After using an ability, your next attack is enhanced. You get extra damage, and you get to heal for half the enhanced damage. Great item on a champion like Fiora, Aurelia. There's another item coming up that they're going to build, but this is one of the choices that they can do. So we do 157. I'm going to use an ability, and we're going to do 334 and heal for half the bonus damage. So about 70 would have been the healing there. That's pretty nice. Triforce. This is the one I think Aurelia, Fiora, and everyone's going to build. It's the same thing. It's a big bruiser item. AD, attack speed, health, ability, haste. So, sorry about all the noise, but there's no mana. And you get a movement speed from using basic attacks. Your next basic attack does more damage. You can see like we're doing more damage. 452 when we do 188. See more damage on our next attack. I think there should be one more thing. Oh wait, no there isn't. Oh yeah. If it's a champion, you increase damage when you get the movement speed from attacking. Next is Leona's Anguish. It's Leona's Torment. It has like the same stats, or well, mana instead. So ability power, mana, ability haste. Dealing damage with abilities causes enemies to burn for max health magic damage. Very small amount though, for 4 seconds. Gain 5% magic pin per second against burning targets, up to 25%. Teemo, Brand, all those burn champions I said. Where's the item I talked about earlier? That maybe like Riftmaker might be good on? Leona's Anguish would probably be a better item on them. Especially if they don't need to be healing off it. Like, look, we're doing 13 for a second or two. Imagine that. Just Leona's Torment. Luden's Tempest. Same thing as Leonas Echo. I think they get lost 20 ability power for 10 magic pen. And the passive is just Leonas Echo. They just do damage to some nearby targets. Like that. But it does the same thing otherwise. Next, we're going to look at Everfrost. Ability power, health, mana, ability haste. Deal some magic damage in a cone, slowing people who are on the outside cone and on the inside line. They are rooted. Good for champions who need more engage power. Maybe like a Rise. Yeah, maybe like a Rise because it gives mana and ability power. You see, like they're rooted. Maybe makes it easier for you to catch up to them and do what you want. It's pretty cool. It's basically GLP, but GLP was a bit different. A Soul, that's another one I just thought of. But Gale Force, attack damage, attack speed, crit strike, and you dash in direction, dealing damage. This is your Marksman dash item. We have a few of these. Like we had Prowler's Claw and Stride Breaker. This is the real Marksman dash item. So you can see we just do damage to a nearby, the most wounded person. Looks like we do damage to. And it just gives good stats. Look at that. Kraken Slayer. Let's see, we do 177. On our third attack, we do extra true damage. So we did 78 extra true damage there. This is just Vayne 2.0 item. And finally, Immortal Shield Bow. Immortal. Sorry I said that word. So, when you're about to take lethal damage, you just get a shield and you get some lifesteal. You like that? Boom. And it gives attack damage, attack speed, crit strike, and lifesteal as it is. So it's pretty decent. Those ADCs that are going to be one-shot by assassins should build this, because it should help you survive different fights. It's pretty decent. Right, and then the next part, we'll be going over the legendary items. So this is going to be separate from the legendary items video and the boots videos and stuff. So if you want to know more about legendary items, there's going to be another video coming up soon. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you later.